Let me start off by asking you a question. How many of you have ever felt guilty from taking a break? You can be honest, it's a safe space. Take a look around. You're not alone. Over time, people have become less mindful about taking breaks, as the pressure to be constantly productive has only intensified with every generation. A study by Easycator showed that Gen Z feels more guilty about taking breaks than any other generation, with almost half of those surveyed saying that they skip out on lunch breaks on a regular basis. And yet we still think that overworking, we wear it as a badge of honor. As you can see, when you're overworked, you can get flustered like me. But the thing is, hustle culture, so let's talk about rest guilt, actually. Rest guilt. This stems from the hustle culture that we live in. And we live in a society that glorifies hustle culture. That idea that there's always something more you could be doing. There's just always something more, It's a lot of pressure. Despite clearly knowing that taking breaks is a good thing, we've created this stigma around resting. But at what cost? According to the American Institute of Health, Stress, the American Institute of Stress, which is a real thing, by the way. Job stress costs US businesses over $300 billion annually. That's a lot of money. Why are we paying that much to be stressed? And it doesn't just end there. The harms of overworking even hurts our personal lives, increasing risks of anxiety, depression, and causing strained relationships, with 71% of employees saying that job stress has caused a personal relationship to end. And we're still, again, wearing that overworking like a badge of honor. The irony? A study by the University of Oxford found that happy employees are 12% more productive than their unhappy counterparts. So taking breaks doesn't just make us feel better. They make us perform better too. So why is it still so hard for us to step away? And when I have stinging lower back pain, why is it so easy for me to ignore it? I remember back when I was a self-conscious little freshman, sitting in a lecture hall, avoiding drawing attention to myself at all costs. I would feel the stiffness in my back and feel this burning urge to just want to stand up and stretch. But I just decided to endure it because the idea of my classmates turning around, giving me weird looks, was more painful than the back pain itself. And I wasn't just worried about being judged. I ignored my back pain because I also felt guilty about taking those breaks. Every time I looked at my to-do list, I'm sure you all have one of those, it already felt like I didn't have enough minutes in a day to get it all done. I was so obsessed with making these schedules to the minute. I'll type out in my notes app the night before, planning out, okay, I'll wake up at 5 a.m., I'll eat an 8-minute breakfast, go to gym at 5:15, do yoga at 5:55. But never, not once, did I actually follow one of these unrealistic schedules to the T. And every time that I fell short, instead of just giving myself more time, I ended up feeling guilty about it. I didn't realize what was missing from those schedules until later. Breaks. Not just scheduled breaks, but the ability to be flexible and take a break when my body actually needed one. So, I found a way to embrace a solution that is simple, realistic, and backed by science. Stretch breaks. You may be wondering, why stretching specifically? Well, when I'm just going about my day, being typical Erica, doing my random stretches in random places, people look at me and say, okay, show off, we get it, you're flexible. In reality, I started doing stretch breaks and yoga as a way to relieve the tension in my lower back. And in fact, my ability to do a split is an indirect result of back pain management. The more I stretched, I realized that it's not just about pain relief. It's about being able to break away from this feeling of being stuck, both physically and mentally. When I actually stepped away, brought myself back to the present moment and breathed, I found that my stress diminished. My attention grew sharper. My day-to-day, less anxiety-ridden. And the best part is, you can achieve it in a minute or two, no matter where you are. No excuses, because no equipment necessary. You can be in the grocery store, classroom, or a parking lot even. So, what can we do to make this seemingly obvious answer a reality? Well, here's the current problem. Stretching can be weird when it's in public, especially when it's not in a yoga studio or gym. But it becomes a lot less weird if everyone else is doing it with you. Let me show you. Can everyone please stand up and join me if you're able to? You've already been sitting for a bit, so we're just gonna start off by feeling our feet planted to the ground. As we take a deep breath in and close our eyes, inhale, 2, 3, 4. Now as you open your eyes, let's exhale, 2, 3, 4. Let's inhale as we reach our hands up in the air as high as we can, stretch out that back. Let's inhale, 2, 3, 4. Now reach back down as we exhale, 2, 3, 4. Now slowly roll yourself back up, one vertebrae at a time. Let's raise up one arm. Start with your left arm. This is my right arm, but your left. Let's inhale as we reach over, 2, 3, 4. Now let's exhale as we release. Other arm. Inhale as we reach over, 2, 3, 4. Now let's exhale as we release. Let's do a little neck rolls. So as you roll backwards, you take an exhale and inhale as you roll forward. Exhale, then inhale. Now other side. Inhale as you go forward. Exhale as you go back. Inhale, exhale. Ooh. Well, I always like to end it off with some freestyle stretch, whatever makes your body feels good. Up to you. Well, thank you for joining in. Feel free to take a seat. Wow, didn't that feel great? I know I sure feel better. I think my talk just became better because I took a stretch break in between. Crazy. Really crazy. They're really effective, I'm telling you. So, when doing these stretch breaks, you can see how there's so many aspects to it. Just think about it. So now let's imagine that on a larger scale. One person normalizing stretching in a meeting. One classroom where students take a moment to reset in the middle of a lecture. One workplace where colleagues encourage each other to move and be mindful. These small changes can create cultural shifts. And that's the thing. It's really all social thing, just like hustle culture is. But to flip it around, instead of having hustle culture, we can have stretch culture. And stretch culture isn't as hard to spread as you think, because stretching, just like yawning, is contagious. When one person stands up to stretch, often others around them feel the urge to move around and do the same. That's how powerful it is. The thing is, unlike yawning, which signals tiredness, stretching signals self-care, well-being, and the power to be able to step away from the grind. So here's my challenge to you. Next time you see someone twisting their neck across the room, rolling their shoulders, shifting around in their seat uncomfortably, use that as an opportunity to suggest a stretch break. Or just stand up and start stretching yourself. Lead by example. And trust me, they'll probably thank you for being the one to say it. I've experienced this firsthand. I got in front of my classroom, got permission from my professor to lead a quick stretch break, and after the class, my classmates will come up to me and say, "Wow, I wish we had that every class." They said they felt so much more refreshed. In fact, I surveyed them about it, and 85% of those who stretched with me said that they felt more alert after the stretch break. Think about the stretch break we did earlier. Do you feel more refreshed, engaged, and ready to be inspired by more TEDx talks? More often than not, we don't realize how much we need it until we actually do it. And that's the thing. The people who need to hear this the most, the ones running on 4 hours of sleep, chugging their third coffee, working late into the Sunday night, probably aren't here today. And that's why I want you to take this message to them. Recognize that small actions, like encouraging taking a break, can be an impactful step towards a healthier and more sustainable way of living and working. You have the power to shift the culture around you. Sometimes that's as simple as saying, "Hey, let's take a stretch break." Thank you.